I'll be honest with you. I never actually wanted this life either. A salesman. The reason I got into it is because of my father as well. Never wanted to be one. I wanted to be a comedian. But that's not right. It's not proper what people want. So I think you should go out for your dream, though. I think you'd be a great artist. Like I said, got that spark in your eye. In fact, it's almost as adorable.
I understand, but I really don't get it. School's hard for me sometimes. I don't want to work like her mom. She's miserable. But I also don't want to end up working on the street, on the street, starving. I think I just want to be happy.
He attached the first feather.
Daedalus tried to steady his shaking hands.
He had to work quickly before a guard brought their next meal.
The old inventor deftly wrapped twine around each feather. He added to the skeletal frames.
He had built from the willow branches.
He attached the fifth feather. His hands calmed as he worked.
Each tiny knot bringing him confidence in his craft.
King Minos ruled over the land and the sea.
But no man could rule the air.
The king had caged Daedalus like a bird.
So like a bird would he escape.
He attached the 15th feather. A joyful laugh broke. The meditative state of the room. Daedalus closed his eyes, ignored the sound he loved so much.
He attached the 20th feather. Dad!
Icarus tucked on his father's arm, loosening a knot.
Dad, look!
He said proudly when Daedalus finally looked up.
The boy had tightly wound twine around a pale yellow candle.
One he had stolen and used its beeswax for.
Into the candle he had shoved in and shaped leftover twigs.
Into delicate veined wings.
I made a bee!
Once, Daedalus would have praised his artistic boy's work.
Fashioned a mobile for it so it could fly about the room. Now,
stuck with only thoughts of freeing himself and his son from this tower,
the man reached out,
yanking the creation away.
We must conserve these resources.
He said in a severe tone. The confused child tilted his head.
confusion scrunching his eyebrows,
Daedalus sighed.
unwinding the twine from the waxy bee.
You cannot play with the twine or the wax. He glanced around the room.
Seeing a mess of feathers everywhere.
Or the feathers. He added, shaking his head.
Dad, I'm bored.
Daedalus just shook his head. Icarus said, folding his arms.
All you let me do when I get to go outside is bring back twigs.
He attached the 22nd feather.
All you let me do when I'm stuck in here is sit quietly and read.
He attached the 23rd feather.
Dad!
Icarus shouted.
He attached the 24th feather. Why won't you say anything?
He attached the 25th feather. Then he looked up. I can think of no other way in which I have already explained to you. You will understand when you come of age and we are free. He said no more.
And only focused on picking up and placing each feather.
A
Patchwork of colors was emerging.
Deep ocean blues from Merlin's.
A soft, fluffy brown from an unfortunate ruff.
Little gray flecks from the mini golds by the seaside.
Various shades of steel from the cute little sandwich turns.
They love to follow Icarus.
And the largest.
Sparkling white feathers from the great white egrets.
He attached the 100th feather,
Then he hid the wings.
which looked as though they had hardly any feathers at all.
A guard would come soon with food. No longer focused, he could hear small whimpers from underneath the bed. But no matter how he coaxed,
He could not draw his son back out that night.
one more month, he told himself. Not long now, he said aloud.
But Icarus did not respond. The first feather fell. Icarus squirmed and twisted.
He couldn't stop looking over his shoulder.
Wings! His father had made such pretty soft wings!
Hold still, child.
Daedalus said, giving the fastening a final tug.
His voice trembled between a sharp scolding and an anxious command.
Icarus wished he would just make up his mind whether he wanted to yell or not.
He had helped his father into his wings first. The room felt cramped.
So Icarus did not know if
The cluster, or his excitement,
were shortening his breaths.
the second feather fell.
But freedom stretched just beyond the window,
Icarus,
Daedalus said,
his voice wavered again.
then grew stern and hard.
Listen closely to me.
Uh-huh.
You must follow right behind me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give enough and you fly too low, the salt and water of Poseidon's sea will drag you to your death. If you fly too high, the heat of the sun will melt the wax holding the feathers together, and you will drop to your death.
Icarus nodded.
But he stared out the window as his father spoke.
He was going to get closer to the sky.
Perhaps he thought
He could even touch a star.
Icarus, pay attention.
Icarus flinched at his father's tone.
mumbled an apology.
He wondered if he had lost
His
father's love forever.
His father then turned and hesitated at the window.
Icarus shifted from foot to foot,
Faster and faster.
until finally,
Daedalus leapt from the window, spreading his arms wide, and dropped into the night sky.
Without seeing if his father's invention had worked,
Icarus flung himself out the window immediately after.
The third feather fell. The wind cradled around them both.
with heavy flaps they rose higher.
Clumsily but assuredly, into the night sky. His imagination could not prepare Icarus for the splendors
Of the cold wind ruffling his hair like a proud mother,
Or the spiced air filling his nostrils like a grandfather's cologne.
or the sharp pinches of the air currents like an exciting sibling's pinches.
family he never had and would never know.
The boy gave a happy yelp,
Staring down into the vastness of the ocean below,
reflecting what was both above and below its surface.
Part of him wanted to dive in.
but his father flew more higher and eastwardly.
And Icarus followed away from the water's invitation.
And then he saw the harmonies of the stars out here.
Away from the mountains,
Away from the land crowding them,
Icarus felt surrounded by them.
could have sworn he heard music in their lights.
Warmth filled his chest despite the cold volleys of air keeping him aloft.
exploring the vastness of the heavens above.
He drifted higher.
And higher.
The fourth feather fell. Freedom. One star sang to him.
Beauty, crooned another.
Eternity. One hums.
Happiness, said another.
Love. Said a faint one.
For a moment, Icarus stopped beating his wings.
One arm drawing back to reach up to the glorious sound.
And found himself falling back behind his father once again.
The fifth feather fell. He caught himself, arms beating into the air.
Never before had he wanted so badly to keep himself aloft.
To keep himself alive.
Before Daedalus could scold him,
Icarus shifted and shot higher into the air.
And higher.
and higher,
Is that what you offer? He asked in a voice that vanished in the gale.
It is what I am, the star replied.
Who are you?
A star too small to have been named.
They said.
Icarus!
Daedalus called from below.
The sixth and seventh feathers fell,
The sun peeked over the horizon.
lording herself over the other stars.
Forcing them to disappear one by one.
The eighth and ninth and 10th feathers fell. Can I see you?
You cannot fly far enough.
More feathers fell.
Can I help you?
Icarus asked.
Flying even higher.
Icarus, fly lower, the sun!
More feathers fell. He could not listen to his father.
The songs grew too loud.
Drowning out even the sound of the
Another
waves
feather
below.
fell.
I am dying.
They said.
I must fall to a grave in your earth.
He remained high above the horizon.
Another feather fell.
High above his only family,
Yet too low for this wonder.
another feather fell.
The sun rose higher herself.
And her passionate heat burned him even more.
Another feather
He
fell.
felt wax drip onto his back.
Burned his arms.
Another feather fell.
And yet he flew higher.
I will catch you.
You will die too.
I will still catch you.
Another feather fell. The last feather fell.
You deserve to die with love. And I deserve the same.
And so too did the star.
All anyone ever wants is happiness. But we don't get happiness just by sitting around doing what we're told. Like I said, I see a spark in this door. And I think you can be one of the world's greatest. And I don't want you having to, like you said, work around the clock like your mom did. Listen, when you're done with all this school stuff, here's my card. Give me a call. I'll get you a job. This way we can get you off the floor and get you going. Like dreamers, like doers, I like people that have that spark in their eye. And of course, I'll work around your art learning and scheduling and everything like that. And of course, we'll get you on your way. Does that sound all right?
That sounds amazing. Wow, you really are Caroline's dad. Your jokes are awful. Goodbye, Mr. Gladwell. Thank you so much for your offer.
You're welcome. Miss Dora, you drop your book. It's odd. It's the same book that Mary's been reading. I wonder if she's helping out her daughter.